So hello guys and welcome back to the another video, main video, part 4.
Of Mr. Zachary, Madame Carlyle's younger
Yeah,
brother.
Madam Cola.
He was found dead in his bed this
Cola,
morning.
Cola.
The door was locked from the inside, and a suicide letter was found in his room. However, Madame Carlyle suspects foul play and will not accept that he took his own life. I've prepared some information for you, so please do come and see me when you've finished your investigation of the crime scene.
Crime
This
scene,
is Mr. Zachary's
okay.
room, to my right.
A locked room murder mystery, 47. I trust you'll get to the bottom of this. Zachary was shopping for new Wellingtons last night. Not exactly what you would expect from someone suicidal. Zachary's suicide note.
Suicide note.
Also, a sample of handwriting. It could be relevant to compare to other samples to establish its authenticity. Why don't you use your camera to scan the dead body for 47?
Okay. Photo. Cheese.
Throat markings indicate a rare, short-lived plant poison killed him. Spread shows time of death at around 10 o'clock last night.
You do know your poisons, 47.
47. Scanning.
A hidden door.
Okay.
It's a secret passage. This could explain how the door was locked from the inside. A photocopy of the floor plans. Somebody's been researching the secret ins and outs of Thornbridge Manor. I believe you've done a thorough search of the crime scene, 47. Maybe it's time to see the butler. I'm curious about the information he's prepared for you.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, good. कौन सा नशे चल रहे हैं?
Mr. Fernsby, I'm done with the crime scene.
Did you establish a time of death?
Zachary died around 10 o'clock last night.
Well, that means the staff were off duty. And Madame Carlyle and her security didn't arrive until this morning. That leaves Madame's family and myself as the only persons here when he died. And before you ask, no, I do not have an alibi. I was alone in my office at the time of death. Here's the material that I prepared for you. It's a list of the possible suspects and their quarters. Hopefully that will help you keep track of your findings. Please come and see me when you've solved the case, and I will take you to Madame Carlyle.
This is very useful information, 47. So how does one solve a murder mystery, 47? Motive, means, and opportunity, I believe. May I suggest you ask the suspects for alibis? Or perhaps you prefer searching the manor for clues first?
Yes, I understand. I'm sure we can come to some arrangement, but you really need to talk to Anthony. He's the man with the papers. Listen, you know who I am, who my grandmother was, right? Just relax. It'll be fine. You'll get your returns. Don't worry. Give Anthony a call, okay?
Patrick Carlisle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Shit, it's that sneaky butler, isn't it? He ratted me out. Elaine, give us some privacy, would you? Don't tell Mother, okay? She's really tense these days, and the last thing I need is more hassle. I took that pretty blonde, Rosie, for an evening stroll. I mean, how the fuck am I expected to cope for an entire weekend in this shithole? I'm bored out of my mind. If that's all, I think I'll get back to my slow death by boredom.
What did you think of Zachary?
Creepy as hell. No ambition. Imagine deciding to live in a museum. You know, Father says Zachary and Alexia used to be two of a kind. He had a great future ahead of him. Then suddenly, he just gave up everything. What an idiot. Thank God Daddy chose looks and brains over pedigree when he married Mummy. I don't have to worry about the inbreeding so customary in these circles. So, is that it?
Did you see anything suspicious last night?
No. I reckon Zachary topped himself. I know I would have. Or perhaps Mr. Fernsby. I don't like him. He could have done it.
If you only knew what we face. I wonder what you would do. Attack? Regroup? Close the gates and wait it out?
Weird.
That is the door to Rebecca's room.
Okay. ओ भाई खुफिया दरवाजा
A damn good reason for not being here in person. Christ. Really don't have a clue, do you? I'm talking about that weasel Arthur Edwards. Can we get back what he stole from me?
So far, it looks like we can't. All the transfers of funds and privileges I've been through have been bulletproof. He intercepted the arrangements our office worked years to put in place.
That's why Don Yates should be here. He made the arrangements. He should bloody well be the one to clean up this whole mess.
I don't know what to say. I'm sorry.
Don't kill the messenger, Alexa. Please, continue your efforts, Mr. Ford.
I can see from the log that Rebecca was in a conference call from 9 p.m. to midnight last night.
इसको भी मारना पड़ेगा। हाँ तू बैठ के काम करता रहा। हाँ हो गया तेरा काम। चल इसके ड्रेस नहीं, ड्रेस बाहर भाई। इसको क्या है डिब्बे में? ओके चल ये ओके मुझे टाइपिंग करना। ओके
This all confirms that Arthur Edwards stole everything from Madame Carlyle. Perhaps you should let her know how bad it is, 47.
इसको छुपा देना है। ये भी से कपड़े पहन लिया। ओके कुछ तो हुआ ही नहीं।
Did I understand correctly that I should give it to Rebecca in case of your death?
Exactly. She holds the other one. I want her to have the file on Arthur Edwards if I die.
You're not fearful she'll be in trouble? She knows.
She will start digging when she realizes things don't add up, inevitably getting her in trouble. I'd rather she knew who she's up against. She's clever and resourceful. Who knows, maybe she'll be able to hit him where it hurts. But I don't want her to get involved prematurely. Hopefully she'll never have to get involved at all. You faced great obstacles too, I know. We will persevere. It is my duty to make that happen.
Okay.
I've received more information about your situation.
Mr. Ford, we can't talk here. Go back to your office. I will be there shortly. What's the verdict, Mr. Ford? Undoubtedly, some of my assets must be safe.
No, everything is gone.
Not Thornbridge Manor, surely.
That too.
But that's not possible. I'll kill him, I swear, if it's the last thing I do. Thank you,
बुड्ढी
Mr.
को
Ford.
गुस्सा आ
That
गया।
will be
बुड्ढी ओके इसको इसको देखना पड़ेगा भाई। ये गार्ड है भाई। ये पीछे पीछे घूमता रहता है साला। इसको मार देता साला। ये नहीं होता था ना भाई, मैं मार देता इसको। ये साला 2 रुपए का बॉडीगार्ड।
Kramer Carlisle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Surely I'm not a suspect.
I need to account for everyone.
Well, I spent the evening with my family, but I got an awful migraine and had to take to bed. Everyone can attest to that. I believe I went up when the boys sat down for a drink around 8 o'clock. Is that all?
How did you feel about Zachary?
I might as well be honest. His presence was always awkward. But how do you have a meaningful conversation with a man who only cares about plants? In my opinion, Alexa bears some responsibility for how this ended. She supported his self-limiting behavior by letting him live here. Anything else you want to know?
Have you noticed anything else out of the ordinary?
Nothing special comes to mind. Except, perhaps, I did get a feeling that Zachary was depressed, not just sad. I suppose he realized that he had no one with Alexa gone. Even Alexa must feel the pangs of guilt over that one, letting him believe she was dead. Then again, guilt isn't her strong suit.
Right, let's get started. I want to keep this short. I know you have a lot of questions. Some I will answer now. The rest will have to wait. First, Zachary's sudden death is a great tragedy, but also a great inconvenience, as it happened just now. I'm dealing with the situation in a discreet and efficient way, and I expect your cooperation in all related matters. Secondly, the arranged funeral event tomorrow will take place as planned. No one can know that I am still alive. I expect you all to act your part. Last, as you all know, I have a lot on my plate and need to focus on sorting everything out, so please do not disturb me with your petty concerns. You are all adults, and as part of the elite, you will eventually have to deal with difficult situations like this. It comes late for most of you, but this is a chance for you to show what you are made of. That will be all.
Rebecca Carlisle, can you tell me about yesterday evening?
We don't really see much of each other, my brothers
What
and
an
I.
exit.
I suppose it takes our mother's funeral to bring us together, and even then, it's not like we sit on each other's laps. Now, let's see. Patrick,
This is your
Gregory's
chance.
son,
Oh, God.
disappeared straight
I have to
after
finish
dinner.
that eulogy.
You know, I think he might be in some sort of trouble. Edward wanted to go as well, but Gregory convinced him to stay for a few drinks before they went off for a pint at the local at 8:45. I swear Gregory enjoys Edward's discomfort over staying here. I had a conference call with my New York office at 9, so I spent 3 hours on my laptop in my room and went straight to bed afterwards. I don't know about Emma. She did act a bit strange. You know, I bet she was making lists for changes needing to be done once she gets her hands on Thornbridge Manor. Quite the shock she had when Mother arrived during breakfast. Is there anything else you want to ask me?
Tell me about Zachary. Did he act strange last night?
You know, now you mention it, he was a lot more chatty than usual. He wanted to know about my connections in the publishing business. Apparently, a friend of his is writing a book, which strikes me as very peculiar. I didn't think he had any friends. Is that everything, Mr. Whitmer? I do have a lot to see to.
Anything else you feel like mentioning?
I may be wrong, but I saw Mr. Fernsby, the butler, leave Zachary's room early this afternoon. And he seemed a bit startled when he saw me in the hallway. It's probably nothing. Oh, and one more thing. Please be kind to Edward. He can only take so much.
Ah, my perfect mother. Ha. Good. You thought. You fucked up, didn't you? Staging your own death? A major, grandiose cock-up, I'd say.
Be quiet, Gregory.
It shows you're only human, after all. I never would have guessed.
Gregory Carlyle, can you tell me where you were yesterday evening?
Oh, you're wondering about my alibi, Mr. Detective. Well, I left Thornbridge around 8:30 for a pint with Edward. I wish I hadn't. Quiz night at the inn. On the other hand, staying here with Zachary, my obnoxious sister, and the wife sporting another one of her headaches would have been a fate worse than death. The short of it, Zachary was very much alive when we left. I stayed for the last shout, and I was back here just before midnight. Anything else you want to pry from my intricate intellect?
Tell me about Zachary.
Zach? Huh. Such a sad old sod. A bit heavy on the bottle. But who could blame him? Only company he had was his rare plants and mother, who travels more than she stays here. Honestly, I can't say which is the bigger ball. He's better off dead. Is that all? Not very thorough, are you?
Anything else you'd like to tell me?
Nothing really. I'm just enjoying the show. Our perfect mother obviously fucked up, didn't she? Faking her own death. You know, she's explained nothing to us. I think she's scared to own up to her own mistake.
Professor Edward Carlyle, can you tell me your whereabouts for last night?
Oh, yes, this dreadful business with Zachary. I stay at the local inn. You see, I prefer not to spend the night here at Thornbridge Manor. My brother Gregory came along for a nightcap. He'll never admit it, but I think he understands that I find this whole thing upsetting and wanted to provide some comfort. I believe we went to the Stag's Head around 8:30. Anything else I can do to help?
Can you tell me about Zachary's behavior last night?
I certainly didn't expect him to commit suicide. Sure, we were. But he seemed more engaged than usual. You should ask Rebecca. They had a long talk. Did you know that he hadn't left Thornbridge Manor in nearly 50 years? His plants, mother, and the staff, all the company he had. If that's all, I have a speech to write.
Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary?
You mean apart from the fact that we came here to bury our mother and she shows up alive and kicking? Zachary found dead in his bed this morning? Or perhaps that the planned funeral is still taking place and I have to do the eulogy? And Mother will surely have a strong opinion on it afterwards. I can't breathe. Excuse me. You always led by example rather than by words and meaningless gestures. Like hugs, encouragement. Just a single spontaneous caress, what a difference that would have made. Right. I clearly remember when I was 5. I climbed a tree and could not make my way down. I was scared and called out for help. Of all people, you heard me, and when you saw me, you climbed the tree. I was relieved that help had finally arrived.
but you...
Can I help you in any way, Mr. Edward?
Fancy. Thank you. No, I'm afraid not.
Some fresh air may do you good.
It might, but I need to finish Mother's eulogy for tomorrow. She doesn't think I can do it, does she? Did she say anything to you?
Mr. Edward, your mother has very high standards. I'm under the impression they are rarely met by anyone but herself.
Oh, God. She expects me to fail.
Tomorrow will soon be over, and then you can put all this behind you. I'm sure you'll do splendidly.